Okay, awesome. So what are you working on today?
Um, let's do a prequel script. I want to talk about pre-qualifying the seller. So this is basically after I've set the appointment to either discuss cash offer or like listing the property. The seller's kind of open to both options, basically.
Okay. Well, I like it when you go first because I always learn
All
from you guys. So,
right, cool. Let's do it. So, Jack, would it be appropriate with you if I asked you some additional questions just to make sure I can best help you when we get together on Tuesday?
of course, Daniel. Yeah. What do you got?
Perfect, man. So I know we discussed you're moving to Wisconsin. You want to be there around April. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep.
Okay, and what's taking you exactly to Wisconsin?
Well, we want to get to Wisconsin because we just had two kids that had one son and one daughter. So we're going to be grandparents, and we're happy to get there. They're just a couple months old, so we want to get closer to family.
Awesome, congratulations. Okay, so you got to get closer to the grandkids. And I know you said your ideal time for them to get there is by April. Is it an option for you guys to just keep the house and not sell it at all and just stay here locally?
Possibly, but this is a pretty expensive house, and I think it would be hard for the rent to pay the mortgage. And I think we need the equity out, so most likely not. We want to use all the cash from this sale to buy the next property and have no mortgage.
Gotcha. Okay. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you want to use the equity of the house you have now to buy the next property and have no mortgage on the next one. Got it. And I know you said obviously you're open to both options, the cash offer, also potentially putting it on the market. Are you planning on interviewing any other agents for the job of selling your home?
Yeah, we had a couple investors that we called, and we have one other agent. He's a friend. He's going to stop by.
Okay. So you've had a couple of investors who've called. Anybody making an offer that you're excited about?
Not yet. We had an offer. We did have one offer that came in. He just emailed it over to us.
Okay.
It seemed pretty good, but he hasn't been at the house yet. So I don't know how he came up with that number.
Okay. So you did get the offer. You said it was pretty good. He just didn't see it physically yet. So is it important for you, the buyer who ultimately makes you the offer, come and actually like physically see the house?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to tell us what it's worth unless they see it. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of pieces to the house. So I guess that, yes.
Okay. And then I know you said the other agent you said is a friend who's in the business. Do you feel like obligated to have to use that agent?
Uh, no, I appreciate the conversation we're having, and I think that there's other people that are qualified to do the job, but I think he's got to get a chance because we've been friends so long and we play pickleball every weekend for the last 2 years. So,
Cool. Okay. So you guys play pickleball together. Um, yeah, I mean, no problem at all, man. I mean, if let's say we did get together and I went over a couple of different options, how I could really assist you. I mean, how open-minded would you be to, hiring an agent like myself and not using your friend?
oh, I would say like 7, 8 out of 10. Pretty open-minded.
Okay, cool. And as far as like what you're looking for in an agent, what's important to you in the agent you hire?
Well, we need someone that's going to communicate well, and we want to see someone that's done this before. Uh, Making this move is tough, and I just have you sold any properties like this before where people are, you know, selling their primary residence in Florida and moving back to Wisconsin?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, it's very common that sellers we work with are selling one home to go and purchase another home. So it's pretty common. And when we get together, Jack, I'll walk you through how we do a step-by-step plan to help sellers like yourself ultimately sell your home and then be able to purchase the next one pretty smoothly. And as far as the agent you hire, I know you said it's pretty important communication. Would you say experience is important for you as well?
Yeah, right. Experience. That's a better way to put it. That's
Okay.
important.
And if there was a way that I could, share with you the experience of, my track record and also the experience of your friend who's also an agent, I mean, how open-minded would you be, to looking at that information if I could provide that to you?
Yeah, I guess. I know that he might not be like the best agent and sold the most houses, but he's been doing it for a long time. So I guess yeah, if you want to compare it,
Yeah.
we're not calling him because he's the number one agent. We're calling him because we know him.
Sure. So no, totally understandable, man. That's pretty common. I'll be able to show you his track record, my track record as well. I mean, are you looking to do your friend a favor, or do you guys really like want to get this home sold?
We want to get the home sold.
You want to get the home sold. Got it. Okay. So we can definitely go over that when we get together. And then as far as a price point, I mean, in the event you don't take the cash offer, how much would you want to list the property for?
I think we want to get a 500,000 out of it.
About a 500,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to do is put together a net sheet for you that's going to show you what you're going to walk away with after the sale. How much do you owe on the property?
Oh, we currently owe 350,000. We bought it for 400 in 2021.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we owe 350. We paid it down a little bit, had like 10% down.
Okay. So you owe about 350,000. So you're wanting to list for about 500,000. Got it. Do you have any other like second mortgages or liens on the property that you're aware
I
of?
I think we have a credit card that we're gonna pay off, and
Cool.
but besides that, no.
Okay. So besides that, no. Got it. And as far as selling it, I know obviously you're investigating cash offer. Obviously, you have a friend who's an agent. Have you ever thought about selling the property yourself?
No, I have a we're not retired yet, but I do work full time from remotely, and I just don't know if that's my expertise. So I'd rather not. I kind of want a hands-off approach.
Hands-off approach. Got it. Makes sense. Okay. And then as far as the condition of your home, I'm going to start doing some due diligence for you. If you had to rate the condition of your home on a scale of 1 to 10, right? 10 being perfect shape, renovated, remodeled, magazine ready, 1 being it needs to be gutted and renovated, where would you rate the condition of your property?
Oh, it's probably a seven, five to a seven. I mean, we do have we have like a broken window, like I think a crack somehow, and the kitchen isn't remodeled. But other than that, it's clean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. So you'd say about a 5 or 7, which is a good rating. It's got a crack in the window, but it's clean. And if you had to use the same scale to rate your motivation to move on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you definitely want to sell and get close to the grandkids and your kids, or 1 being you don't really care if it sells, how would you rate your motivation to want to sell this property?
Well, we're not getting any younger, and we just want to be up there. I know we can get more bang for our buck up in Eau Claire, so I would say it's like an 8 or a 9.
Eight or nine?
We're not keeping this place, man. We can just
Okay.
we can get a condo down here, for a month. Want to come back?
Yeah, so kind of okay. So definitely 8 or 9. So it sounds like you definitely want to make the move, get close to the family. Got it. And as far as when we get together, what I like to do prior to that is sending you over a package of information. If I got that out to you on email, would you be able to take a few moments and take a look at that prior to our appointment on Monday?
Yeah, I think we would for sure.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna send that over to your email if you could take a look at that for me. And then, just out of curiosity, I know you're having me come over to kind of go over what the cash offer would be or potentially listing on the market. And I'm going to be very transparent with you. I mean, my intention is to earn your business and get the process started if everything makes sense to you and you feel comfortable and confident. I just want to see, I mean, what are you hoping that happens at the end of our appointment?
Oh, I just want to get the options, and I kind of want to see who, what's your commission, man? Like that's what it kind of comes down to. Everyone just charges like 6, 7%. I think that's too high.
Okay. So it sounds like you want me to come out to kind of compare commission rates. And other than the commission rates, is there anything else like you're hoping to accomplish at the end of our appointment?
Well, we want to see that cash offer because, like I said, I think those commissions are too high, and if we don't have to pay any commissions, that might be a better option. But I guess that's good. And I think you said you're going to bring out and show us your experience. So nothing else really off the top of my head. No.
Nothing else? Okay. No, I appreciate you sharing that with me, Jack. And I mean, if what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident, that I can ultimately sell the property for you, what would stop you from moving forward with me when we got together?
Oh, nothing. I mean, I think we would be open hiring if everything makes sense and you charge the right amount, and I guess just what matters what we walk away with.
So no matter what you walk away with. Okay. And we'll be sure to definitely go over that. And I noticed there's a name on here. It shows me Mary on the property appraiser. Is that your spouse?
Yep, that is my spouse.
Okay. And she's going to be there as well on Monday?
Yep, I can make sure she's there. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. And is she as excited as you are to move closer to the grandkids and the kids?
I think she's more excited than me.
More excited than you? Okay. Got it. Cool, man. So I look forward to meeting you and Mary. I'm going to send that package out to you guys via email. And then when we get together on Monday, we'll go over both options and we'll see if we're a good fit to get started. Okay.
That sounds good. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome, Jack. Thank you.
Dude, you reaffirm a lot. I remember you
Yeah.
told me this last time. Do you ever feel like you do it too much, or have you ever had any kickback on that?
No, and I don't do this much in person, so it's kind of weird because we're doing like a video call, but like over the phone, I do it a lot. I was just in a program where they were just like, they told me in a lot of books I read, like when you're on the phone, like repeat and affirm a lot because it really sounds like you're listening to them. When you're in person, I don't do it like that much, right? But when you're on the phone, you want to repeat and affirm a lot. But typically, like sometimes I got to be careful, and I think people watching got to be careful. When you repeat and affirm, you don't want to like re-ask the same question. You just want to repeat and affirm and then ask your question, right? So if you're like, oh, I'm moving to Wisconsin, I don't want to be like, oh, you're moving to Wisconsin? Like another, like, yeah, like I just told you, you want to be like, oh, you're moving to Wisconsin? Great. When do you want to be there by? Right? So you just want to repeat and affirm and then question, right? So I do that a lot. I've never got any like kickback on it. No one ever says anything. They're just like, okay, yeah, and they just answer my question.
Yeah, when you did it on the phone, I would agree. Like, because you can't see your face, like it is a little different, and this is like the in between of in person and over the phone. So yeah,
Yeah,
I like it, but it's definitely more of an over the phone tactic, right? Yeah.
100%. If you're in person, I do it a little bit in the beginning, but if you do it the whole time in person, it gets kind of like weird. But like when you're over the phone, I think it's way more powerful because you gotta think they don't know what you look like and they're just listening to you like this. So you make them really feel like you're listening to them and they're being heard. You build that rapport, you build that engagement. And then when you go out there, I do it a little bit in the beginning and then I kind of just get right into it.
Yeah. What else do you think that you might have missed when you were? Because I kind of find like when I'm talking, I almost feel like I can hear what I did wrong like right away. You feel like you caught anything?
Yeah, I think I went a little too fast in the beginning. I think for sometimes when I'm like, okay, it's a role play, I'm like, all right, let's do this. All right. And I think I rushed through it. We're on the phone, I slow down a lot more, try to mirror match the person. So I'm going to try to be mindful of that when we role play. And then also the spouse part, I usually will put in there like a lot sooner. But I threw it in there because I was like, I don't want to miss that. But usually, like while I'm on the phone with somebody, I'll look up like the deed information, and like if I see the name, I'll throw it in there, or I'll just ask like, "Hey, is anybody going to be involved?" I'll be honest, I forgot it, and so I threw it back in at the end, which I think still kind of works. But I think if I could redo it, I would have moved that a lot sooner.
Okay. Yeah. The Because that's just such an objection that if you don't handle right away, it could just come back and bite you later, right? Like you spent 20 minutes talking to the guy, and then you find out that the wife doesn't really want to sell. He's probably not selling, right?
Yeah, so I've had that. Like I'd be on the phone with a guy, man, and we're having like a good conversation, and have the appointment set. I'm going through everything, and then like I'm like, great. So I'm like, is your wife? I see, Mary's on the deed, and I'm sure she's excited as you are in selling the home. He's like, no, man, she doesn't want to move. She said she's gonna die here. I'm like, he's like, maybe you can come and convince her. I'm like, there's no way, dude. I can't convince anybody. You know.
Yeah. Well, I guess I just wanted you to come out. I wanted to see how much we could get for it, and then I could talk to her. Like, okay, great. Yeah.
Right. And that's
Can't wait
why,
to meet her.
yeah, man. And that's why I like the questions like, what are you hoping that's going to happen at the end of our appointment? What are you looking to accomplish? Because they'll tell you, man. I've had sellers tell me, well, if everything makes sense, like we want to get started, we want the house on the market, right? Or, hey, we want to move forward with the cash offer, like we really need to sell. Or they'll straight up tell me, like, well, we're looking at maybe thinking of refinancing and we want to just see what the values are worth, or we're not moving. Right. Or like, well, we're thinking of maybe selling next year. And, we kind of want to just get an idea of the market. Like they'll kind of tell you like what in their head, what their intentions are. right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I had one guy one time tell me, "We're thinking of putting a pool in. We just want to see what our value's worth before the pool, and then maybe if you can tell us what it's worth like after the pool." And I'm like, "Okay, like that's not really." And I'm like, "So are you moving? Like, are you putting the pool in to like sell the house?" Like, no, no, no. Like, I'm thinking like I want to keep the house and like use the pool for me. And I'm like, might not be worth my time to go on this appointment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What other, I mean, I just, you sometimes it like blows your mind that because you're like, well, this person like wants to sell because they called me or because they're having a conversation with me and they're not the professional. So you don't know.
Dude, I had one time somebody tell me they want a bigger house. I said, why? And they said, well, I want to get a pool table. And I'm like, so you're gonna sell your house, pack up, move, pay for closing costs, rebuy another house, like go through the stress of moving so you can put a pool table in your house. Obviously, that guy never sold. Yeah, like you never. I mean, there's no way. It's not strong enough motivation.
Yeah. I had a guy tell me, he said, yeah, I gotta keep impressing the wife. Like, we gotta, I'm like, I don't know if that worked. Like, okay, dude. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know. Let's flow into mine here. If you're good. Do you
So,
have anything else?
no, no, that's all I got, man.
So the two things that I'm working on today are bridges. Like I want to bridge my questions better, just so I'm less interrogational and I'm more conversational. I don't want to say, just keep hammering you with questions. I want to kind of keep it lighter. And then I talked with Chris Perez, and one of my big goals too is just to come from it as of like I'm here to help frame instead of like what is what's the best way to make money off of this person? Because I think if I'm friendly and I come from it in a good frame, I'll naturally just find that out. And I have all these options to, monetize it. And I don't need to necessarily push one. So it's kind of my goal today.
100%.
And
Okay.
then I want to take you as a live pickup on a TV call. So you called off my TV commercial, live pickup, uh, and you saw my commercial, or you're at least calling the number on the commercial. Okay.
Okay.
So you called me.
So ring ring.
Hi, this is Jack with Easy Cash Buyer. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Hey Jack, this is Daniel. I saw your ad on TV here, man. I just wanted to touch base. Something about a cash offer on my house. Just wanted to see what's that all about.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Daniel. This is Jack, the one with the hair. My dad's the bald guy. Uh,
Okay.
how can we help serve you best? You're looking for a cash offer on your property. How can we help you?
Well, so me and my wife have been thinking about maybe moving and selling, and we know the market's kind of bad right now with everything going on with the rates and affordability. So if we could just maybe get a cash offer and pack up and move, that'd be great. I mean, what would your cash offer be?
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's good that you're looking to make a move. Our cash offers are usually put together after we have a time to come out, meet you at the property, and give you a better idea on price. The analogy I like to use is if you called up a mechanic, put your phone on speaker, and let him hear the sound of the car, and he gave you a price on it to fix it. I don't think that would be a very good mechanic. So we like to come out, see the house in person, and give you a fair number.
Okay.
Uh, tell me more about that. What's important to you about kind of making the move? And uh, yeah, I know rates are in a tough spot right now, but what are you thinking?
Well, we're thinking of moving to Florida. With the cold we've been having, it's really getting hard for us. And we have family down there, and it's just getting very expensive for us as well. So we think it's time to pack it up. We want to downsize and just, start a new chapter in our life.
Okay, you want to downsize? Are you guys like retired? I mean, you getting to that point in your age too?
Yeah, we're retired,
Okay, congrats. So you want to snowbird, you want to go south,
pretty much.
and yeah, have you been down south before? Like, have you rented down there, or have you owned a property there before?
So we never owned a property. We've gone down and stayed at like Airbnbs. I used to live down there years ago. So for me, that's kind of what I'm used to. So ultimately, we want to make the move back.
Okay. And you're pretty confident that you don't want to keep this property and possibly maybe rent this property out as an Airbnb and then uh, go down to Florida and maybe come back for a couple months. You for sure want to sell it.
Maybe. I mean, I'm thinking I probably would just want to. I mean, it's a thought, but I think just selling it would be best, to be honest. I don't want to deal with it being so far away.
For sure. And to make the move, do you need the equity from this sale to get down there?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Awesome. And when ideally are you trying to make this move by? Like,
Um, well, right now we're in February. I'd like to get down there. We're in no rush, but we could make the move in 2-3 months or a month. It's fine.
perfect. And I know you're calling about a cash offer along those lines. Like, what ideally were you looking to get for your house? You know,
Well, I really want. I mean, well, you guys tell me. I mean, I don't really know what it's worth. So I saw your ad on TV. I'm assuming you guys do this pretty frequently. I mean, why don't you guys tell me what the offer is?
yeah. And, we're located right here in Eau Claire. Are you located in Eau Claire?
Yes.
Awesome. And are you in? See, I should probably ask for this number, this address sooner. I'm not doing good right now.
Yeah, bro, I think you're doing all right.
I was a lot smoother yesterday.
Dude, I feel like honestly, as long as you're getting questions out and getting what you need, it's kind of like you're fine. You know?
I need to get like name and I need to get address right away.
Yeah.
And then I can kind of flow off of that because then I can start using property data to maneuver on the script. And Daniel, remind me again, where is the address of your property and where are you located?
I'm 123 Banana Street here in Eau Claire.
Okay, awesome. Banana Street, you're right there in Putnam Heights.
Yeah.
And when I look up to see what investors have been paying for properties in your area, it looks like investors have been paying right around $150,000. Now, I'm not saying that's what we would pay for the property, but that's what I'm seeing in your area. How do you feel about that number?
Jesus, 150,000. No, I'm gonna I'm gonna pass on that. There's no way. We didn't even pay off the mortgage.
For sure. And looking at, I'm sure you've seen some houses that have sold down the road. The reason investors are paying, under market values because they're paying for houses with no commissions, uh, no closing costs. You can sell the property as is. You don't have to clean up. So there are some benefits to that, but it's definitely not the most amount of money. Uh, I mean, that's a good thing that you're calling us. We do provide cash offers on properties, but we also are a full service brokerage, and we can give you multiple options to best help you in this situation. So provided we have the opportunity to sit down, I can kind of run you through those options and what you'll possibly be netting when you do sell the property. I know you mentioned that 150,000 wouldn't be enough to even pay off the mortgage. If I were to give you a net sheet on what you'd be walking away with, how much is the mortgage on the property?
It's about 180,000.
Okay, perfect. So I see here there's a property over at 212 Banana Street that just sold for 315. If you got closer to a retail price, do you think that would make you and your wife a lot happier?
Yeah, it's a lot better than 150.
For sure. And are you comfortable with people coming through your house with showings, like open houses? Are you comfortable with that?
I don't want to do open houses, but I don't mind showings if they're by appointment.
Awesome. Yeah. And you don't have to have open houses. It's just, I like to ask questions on the far side of the spectrum. If you had completely random people walking through your house, how would you feel about that? And personally, I wouldn't be comfortable either. Uh,
Yeah. I wouldn't be too comfortable. I mean, like if it's by appointment, I don't mind. If they're vetted and all that, but I don't want random people just walking by.
yeah. And in regards to like who you decide to hire, Daniel, are you thinking of, you know, you called me, I'm a cash buyer, and we own a real estate brokerage. Have you just like reached out to anyone else to get another opinion yet? Any like agents or investors?
So I had a realtor come over last week, and then I had another investor who's coming out tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, the best thing about us is we're the two tied together. So we're the 1-2 punch. We can give you multiple options and we can kind of keep everything in-house. So may I ask you, where did they kind of come in with their numbers, the other agent and then the investor?
The other agent said he's coming around. He thinks I could sell for about 315, and the investor didn't give me any numbers yet. I'm meeting him tomorrow to see.
Awesome. And what's important when you're looking at these two different people? Uh, what's important, when hiring an agent? What are you looking for in an agent?
Well, I want someone who I think is knowledgeable, look out for my best interests, and just do a good job.
For sure. And does it kind of do you have a relationship with this agent, or are you just how'd you hear about them?
No, no. So one of my buddies from church used this agent. He recommended her.
Awesome. And when you decide to sell your house, how important is it to you that you hire someone that has done this before with either a cash offer or sold properties on the open market? How important is experience to you?
I would say experience is pretty important for sure.
Wonderful. Well, if you don't mind me asking, I just want to ask so I can better help serve you with and give you better information on who you ultimately decide to hire. What is the name of the other agent that you had stop by?
Um, I honestly can't remember. I know he was with Remax, but I don't know his name. I don't remember it.
Okay, awesome. I'm lost right now. I can't
Good, just keep
my
going.
flow going.
You're good. Go ahead.
No, you got it. What are you gonna ask?
No, I was just gonna say because honestly, sometimes they give it to you, sometimes they don't. Like I don't remember it. Sometimes they're lying, or sometimes they just don't generally remember. I'll be like, okay, no worries, it's fine. And I'll usually just be like, when I get out there, I'll share with you at least what my experience is, and then you can make the decision for yourself. Like, okay. And then usually when I get out there, I'll bring it up again and be like, hey, did that other agent leave a brochure? Dude, they always have the brochure somewhere. Yeah, let me grab it, and they bring it to you, and then you can look through it, look his name up, and then pull it up. Usually what
I
I do.
always, yeah, I always want to say something along the lines of you know, it wasn't an impactful experience if you don't remember their name, but I guess that's what comes to my head, but it's kind of a stupid thing to say. So
I don't like trying to beat up, making people look
for
bad or
sure.
talk crap. So if they're like, well, I don't remember, and the honest truth is they might remember, don't want to tell you, right? So I'm like, okay, no problem. Now if they're like, well, the guy didn't leave an impact on you. What if they did remember, but they just don't want to share it with you? You know what I mean? So I'll just be like, okay, that's no problem. I can just share with you my experience, and you can make the decision for yourself. Okay. And then when I get out there, I'll usually bring up and be like, did he leave a brochure to that other agent? They're like, yeah, they did. Because usually, once they meet you in person, and you're very personable, you're asking good questions, and you're professional, they're going to be more willing to open up and talk to you. So then they'll go grab the guy's brochure, or tell you his name or whatever, grab his business card. And then I have my iPad, I just look it up when I'm there. Like, let me look up the sales, my MLS, right? I try not to go too much into who the other agent is. I do ask, but I don't go through too in depth or try to make them look bad over the phone. I don't even make them look bad when I get there. I just pull up their sales and compare. Here's his experience, here's mine. I show them, don't tell them.
Okay. And where I was kind of at in the conversation, how would you then wrap it back to the condition? Because I think one of the issues I'm having too is I'm coming out of the chronological order. Like if I could get their name, then I could get where the house is, then I could just go into condition. And once I have the information about the house, then it's easy to ask, it sounds like you have a nice house. Why are you even thinking about making a move? Then I can go into motivation. And after that, I could just hit what you owe on it and then decision makers. But I don't know.
A couple things I would say is another thing I've experienced is unless you're doing the appointment all over the phone and you don't even want to drive out there, I would not give them any numbers as far as a cash offer. Nothing, right? I've had it more than a handful of times where they're like, what's the cash offer? And I had the appointment set, my listing appointment already set to go over both options. And once I was like, well, investors are paying 120 grand for properties like yours. They either hung up on me or they freaked out and they're like, whoa. And I was like, well, we can list it for you. And they're like, no, I'm okay, man, thanks. And they cancel. Let's just cancel the appointment. Because you got to think, right? In their head, dude, this guy just offered me 120 grand, and then you're going to come out and try to list my house, right? So I learned after those couple of experiences, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to withhold that number, especially if I'm going to meet them, or I can kind of tell it's going to be a listing. I'll be like, well, I really can't. I don't really know what the number is until like we get together. Like once I see it, I can tell you. And they're like, okay. And I just withhold it because I feel like every time I've given the number out there or just, and even though I'll say like it's not me, it's other
Okay.
investors, I feel like a lot of times they get really pissed off. They cancel the appointment, they hang up and say, forget it. Right. And it's really hard to like reel them back into like, hey, we could list it for you. Like, no, dude, thanks. Right. I had another guy too one time. I gave him the number. We had the appointment set. He calls me back like 3 hours later, and he's like, "Yeah, I spoke to my wife. I told her what we talked about. How your cash partners would offer 200 grand, and I told her, obviously that's too low. And I told her that you can come out and list it, and she just felt like it was kind of odd how you offered us 200 grand, and then you're gonna try to help us list the house for sale. So we're gonna go ahead and cancel." And I'm like, "Well, it wasn't me. It was a cash investor." I'm like trying to like reel them back in, and they're like, "No, man, sorry." And then I see it listed with somebody else, and they sold it, right? So now I don't even give them a number unless you're going to do it all over the phone. And you're like, I don't even want to go out there. Like, then you're trying to close it over the phone. That's different. Another thing I would add is like, in my experience, I like talking about condition of the property first because I feel like they open up and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Right. And then go into the motivation. You hear different things from different people. What I've personally experienced is like when I try to go into like why they're moving, where they're going, like right off the rip, a lot of times they're like, that doesn't matter. What's your offer? Like, why do you need to know that? What's the offer? Right. So then I switched it up and I'd be like, hey, like, tell me a little bit about the house. Like, I know you call about the cash offer. Before we can make an offer, I need to know a little bit more. What's the address? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? Does it have a pool? What's the age of the roof? Right. And then also, as they're telling me the condition, I can kind of tell whether or not, oh, they're going to list this or it's a cash, right? Because they'll tell you, bro, like, roof needs work. It's got some mold issues. I haven't touched it in 10 years and I just want to get out of here. And, it's really in bad shape. Like, this is a cash deal, right? But if they're like, oh, I put on a new roof, I remodeled it, I just painted it last spring, you're like, it's probably going to be a listing, right? So I go into like the condition and then I go into like, okay, and I'm just curious, sounds like you have a beautiful home based on what you're sharing with me. Like, oh yeah, it's great. Yeah. Why would you even want to consider a cash offer? Well, we're moving to Florida. And then I go into like the motivation.
Yeah. Because condition is typically with the cash offer, condition is directly tied to motivation.
100%.
I mean, rarely is it job,
Yeah.
rarely is it, I mean, anything else. It's usually I can't keep up with the house or it needs a lot of repairs. And I'm older, or like, yeah, the house needs this. I can't do it because they usually explain why, right?
100%. So a house that I bought that I'm flipping right now, um, I went into condition first and he was like, I inherited from my brother. It needs a lot of work. It's got some foundation issues. Nothing's been touched on it. I'm like, well, what's the shape of the condition? Terrible. Like he's like talking the house like it's bad. Like, okay. He's like, honestly, man, like you definitely need to gut this house and like renovate it. And I don't have the money to do that. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And then I went into like, so I'm sorry to hear about your brother passing away. Why would you want to sell it? Why not just keep it and rent it? And then he went into like, nope, I need cash, but and like I went down the line, right? I even had a couple of sellers say to me on the phone, wow, you're the first person to actually want to talk about the house first and not all my personal business. And I appreciate that, Daniel. I'm like, no, of course. I'm like, why would I talk about your personal information, like your personal business? I need to know more about the house. And they're like, yeah, you're one of the first ones to actually do that. And I appreciated that. Like, no problem. And then I went and I'd either get the listing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a better segue too, because it's hard to like get into like, hey, where are you going? Why are you
Totally.
selling that? Especially they're like, and then you'll get this because I used to get this like, what's your offer? What's your offer? Don't worry about that. What's your offer? And it's hard to like. So I feel like if you just get into it like, hey, this is Jack, or hello, this is Jack. Hey, I'm calling about your TV commercial. Oh, perfect. Okay, so a TV commercial. Yeah, let me do some due diligence for you. Let me put some numbers together. Before I can do that, I need a little bit more about your home. What's the address? Boom, you got the address. Great. How many bedrooms and baths? Okay, great. How many pool? And they're gonna tell you everything about the house. What's the condition? And then you could be like, hey man, I appreciate you giving me all the information. I'm gonna start running some numbers for you. Just curious, why would you even what attracted you to the TV commercial anyways, and prompts you to call me? Well, Jack, and then they'll start to tell you.
For sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's exactly where when I can think about all of my like converting conversations, that's what's happened. And I think that everyone has trust issues these days, like
100%.
trusting who they're talking to. So for them to just divulge the reason that they're moving and give up all their motivation, they're going to quickly feel like you're trying to one up them, get it over on them,
100%.
right?
And the more you kind of like push, I feel like the more they put the cards close to the chest, and now they don't tell you anything, right?
Right.
And then it makes it hard to convert them. Like I had a seller who was going through bankruptcy, and he didn't even tell me till like the day before the closing, and I was like, oh shoot, right? So a lot of times they have stuff going on, and they don't really want to share with you like what's going on. And I feel like it's hard if you come right in like, hey, like, why are you selling? It's like, don't worry about that. What's your offer? Or if you go into like condition, they're talking to you, they're participating with you, they're building trust with you because they're telling you about their house. And then it kind of almost seems like nonchalant, like, hey man, I'm just curious. Then when I worked to the house, it's beautiful. Like, why would you want to sell it anyways? And then they're gonna tell you why. And then you just
Yeah.
go from there. Where are you going? What's your time frame? And go down the
Right.
line.
Yeah. And truthfully, to give an offer, you don't really need to know why they're moving. Like, you know what I mean? If I was talking to you just like squarely, like, you don't need to know why I'm moving to tell me what you'll give me for the house. So let's just be like, let's go right to the point. I think you're exactly right.
So I've experienced that with like the calls that come in for me. It's like I used to just get right to it. Like, what's caused you to make the move? They're like, that doesn't matter. And I'm like, you're
Exactly.
kind of right. I'm like, yeah. So I started switching it and going like into condition, like what's the condition of the property that, and then they start talking to you, they're building trust or participating, and then I go into like, hey, why would you want to sell it anyways? And it almost sounds like I'm detached, like why would you want to sell it? Like, well, I'm behind on the mortgage payments. Like, oh crap, okay, and then they start to go into it.
Right. Because condition, if it's in bad condition, is usually tied to a financial reason. And then the financial reason is the real motivation. They don't have any money to fix the house. That's why it's in bad condition. So yeah.
And then if it's in good condition, you probably know like 9 times out of 10, they're going to put this house on the market because they put the roof in, they put the AC, they painted it. Like they're going to want their money's worth. So then you can kind of slide the conversation into like when you set the appointment, hey, if we can get you more by putting it on the market, would you be open to that? Like, yeah, I'd be open to it. Like, okay, great, right? Where if you throw out that number, I feel like you're going to shut a lot of people down, especially if you're hoping to get the listing or meeting with them in person. You're going to shut down like a lot of people and lose a lot of trust. They're going to be like, dude, you threw 150 at me. My house is worth 350. Now you're saying you want to list it for me. Like, yeah, I don't know. And then if you're like, well, it's not me, it's my cash partner. It's like, yeah, but dude, your TV commercial says you buy houses. So whether it's you or your partner's like, you just threw 150 at me. Like, I don't know if I want to choose you to list my house. Like, I'm good, man. I got it. And I've had that experience a handful of times. And I was like, you know what? I'm withholding that number from now on. I'm not telling them. Even if they press me, like, what's your offer? I'm like, I really got to see it in person. Like, when can we get together?
Yeah. I don't buy houses unless I see them in person. So
Right.
me
And
giving
I
you a
love
number.
the analogy. I love the analogy you used, the mechanic one. That was a cool analogy that really made it make sense. Like, okay, I gotta come see it. I love that. And I like how you opened with the joke too about your dad, you're the one with hair. I think that was good too.
Yeah.
Make it
I
funny.
can't lose my sequencing. Because I mean, then you're just going to, like, I start getting friction, like you said, right away. So,
Right. Yeah. I think if you do that, you'll have much smoother conversations and then you don't ever like show them your cards. Right. Now, if there's like a deal where it's like, I don't know, it's an hour and a half away from you and you're like, I don't really want to drive. And like, you probably know it's going to be a cash offer, maybe throw the number out there and just see. But if it's like something that you're willing to drive to and you're open to taking a listing for, I probably would, again, just withhold that.
yeah. And at least get their number first, right? Like any good
100%.
negotiation, you're just going to get them to talk first. Why? If they say 300, like, what are you hoping to get for it? And you're like, yeah, our investors are paying 150. We also list property. Like, it's just not a good transition.
It's hard, man. I've lost them. I've had people hang up on me. We had a great conversation. I throw the number out there, dude. They're dropping F bombs at me, going nuts. And it's like, forget it. I'm like, well, we can list it. And they're like, nope, click. I have appointments set. They call me back to cancel. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm recognizing a pattern. This isn't working. I'm like, I'm gonna keep that number. Like, what's the number? I'm like, I can't share it with you. Dude, I'll go into houses now. We list it. I never even gave the cash offer. and we talked about cash offer initially. I never even threw a number out there, and they're signing listing agreements. Because like you get to the house and it's nice, and you're like, they're not taking a cash offer on this. By the time you're done with their presentation, they're just like, yeah, man, let's list it. Like everything you said makes sense. And then they might be like, what was the cash offer? And then I'll usually be like, I'm embarrassed to even tell you, man. Like it's pretty low. Like I don't know. I'm embarrassed to even say. You're gonna get upset at me. Like no, I'm not. Go ahead. What would it be? Like I don't want to tell you. And they're like, no, go ahead. And I'm like, they would offer you like 150. Like no, like yeah, man. I'm like that's why I'm suggesting we list it. Like all right, let's list it. You know. So you kind of build like that. I feel like you build that trust factor. But other than that, dude, I thought it was good. I thought your tonality was good. You're smiling, which is good. You could feel that through the phone. Your tonality was good. Your cadence was good. I would just switch that around. And I think you're good.
Yeah, it wasn't the fact that I didn't know what to say. It's just once you start heading one direction to like be able to get there and then pivot back, that takes a lot of skill and it's super hard to like I got into setting the appointment and I didn't know anything about the condition of the house. So
Yeah. But no, you're good, dude. That was solid. I would just tweet those little things. I think you're solid.
Yeah. And it's interesting because like yesterday, I thought if I gotta send you my clip, I crushed it. And then today it's like this. So I just gotta get good enough where I can't get it wrong. You know what I mean?
The only way to do that, bro, is reps. That's it.
Just keep practicing. So
Just put the reps in.
no. You got anything else?
No, man, that's it. That was good. I think we're good. Anything else on your end?
No, I'm good, man. Thanks, dude.
Appreciate it, man. I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, have a good day. Thanks, bro.
I'm out of there.